Hello, you're welcome again to Math with LEODEK. Last time we treated logarithms of numbers greater than 1. Today we'll be treating logarithms of numbers less than 1. I will also be making use of 4-figure table, or you can call it mathematical table. Now we are given 3 questions here. They say we should use this table to find the logarithms of A, B, and C. Now solutions. For alphabet A, we have 0.005812 is equals to, just like I told you in my previous video, before you can be able to find the logarithms of numbers, you first of all convert the number to standard form. And you know that we have 2 parts of logarithm, the characteristic part and the matricial part. Now, just like I told you before, that the characteristic part is the power of 10 after converting this number to standard form. Therefore, we'll be starting with converting this number here to standard form. For us to convert this number here in standard form, here is where our decimal point is. Therefore, we have to carry this decimal point and place it immediately after the first non-zero digit. Immediately after the first non-zero digit. And our first non-zero digit is 5. Therefore, we count 1, 2, 3. This is where we're going to place our decimal point. We have 5.8812 times 10 raised to power minus 3. Remember what I told you, whenever you are counting to the right, it's going to be a negative power of 10. But whenever you are counting from the right to the left, the power 10 is going to be a positive integer. Therefore, here this power 10 is going to be our characteristic part. And finding the logarithm of this number, this will give us, this minus 3 will be by 3. By 3 points. Now we are going to, after getting our characteristic part, for the matricial part, you have to look for 58 under 1 difference of 2 in your mathematical table. You have to look for 58 under 1 difference of 2 in your mathematical table. Now we're going to open to logarithms of numbers. This is what logarithms of numbers. You can see this S. In this S column, we're going to look for 58. Looking for 58 here, this is where our 58 is. 58 under 1 is 7642. 7642. Difference of 2. You still follow the line to the difference part. This is the difference part. Difference of 2 here is 2. Therefore, we're going to add 2. Now we add 2 plus 2 here will give us 4. There's no number here. Bring down your 4. Bring down 6. Bring down 7. Therefore, what we are going to have here is by 3.7644. This is our final answer for question number 1. This is our final answer for question number 1. Now question number 2 we have, which is alphabet B, we have 0.6504. We are still going to use the same method. First of all, writing this number in standard form. And writing this number in standard form, we have to bring our decimal point here. Just once that we carry the decimal point, we have 6.504 times 10 raised to power minus 1. This minus 1 here is our characteristic part, and it's going to be by 1. By 1 point. Following the same method too, now we're still going to look for, open your logarithms of numbers, go to 65 under 0, difference of 4. 65 under 0 is 8129. 8129. Difference of 4. Difference of 4 here is 3. You write 3 under your last digit. You add 9 plus 3 will give us 12. You write 2, carry 1. That your 1 you carry, add it to this 2, you have 3. Write 3, bring down 1, bring down 8. Now we're going to have by 1.8132. This is our final answer for question number 2. Now moving over to the third question, which is the last question we have under this subtopic. We have 0.000000032 is equals to. Now writing this in standard form, remember you have to place your decimal point immediately after your first non-zero digit, and our first non-zero digit here is 3. Now we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we place our decimal point here. Now writing this in standard form, you're going to have 3.2 times 10 raised to power by 7. And this by 7 here is our characteristic part. Have by 7 points. Now opening your logarithm table, we have to look for 32 under 0. And 32 under 0 is will give us 5051. 5051. There's no other digits here. Therefore, we're not going to look for the difference. This is the final answer for question alphabet C. Now we're moving over to multiplication and division of numbers, logarithms of numbers less than 1. Now starting with the first question here, which is question number 1. What you have to do here, first of all, draw your table. Have your number side, have your log side. The first number here is 0.0672. Just like the way we have been doing, we will first of all find the characteristic part. Now writing the characteristic part, say our characteristic part in this first number is going to be by 2. Why? Because this is where our decimal point is, and we need to place it at the right position, which is immediately after the first non-zero digit. And our first non-zero digit here is 6. Therefore, you place it, you count 1, 2, and place a decimal point here. We have our bar 2 because we counted from the left to the right. Now for the mathematical side, we will also be making use of our mathematical table. You open the logarithms of number, look for 67 under 2. 67 under 2 is 8274. Have your 8274. There's no other number here, therefore we're not going to look for the difference. Now the second number in question number 1 is 0.09853. We are still going to write the characteristic part, which is also by 2 points. We place a decimal point. Now for the mathematical part, we're going to look for 98 under 5, difference of 3. Using our mathematical table. Look for 98 under 5, difference of 3. 98 under 5 is 9934. 9934. 3, 4. Now difference of 3 here is 1. That your 1, you add it under the last digit. You do your normal addition. This plus this will give us 5, 3, 9, 9. Therefore, this will give us 9, 9, 3, 5. Moving further, we are going to add the logarithms of these numbers because it is what? You add the logs. Adding the logarithms, 4 plus 5 will give us 9. 7 plus 3 will give us 10. You write your 0, carry 1. That one you carried, if you add it to these two, you have your 2 plus 1 will give you 3. And 3 plus 9 here will give us 12. You write your 2, carry 1. This one you carried, you add it to this 8. You have your 9. Then 9 plus 9 will give us 18. You write your 8, carry 1. Place your decimal point. Now this one you carried, you add it to minus 2. Minus 2 plus 1 will give you minus 1. Therefore, minus 1 plus minus 2 will give you minus 3. Have your minus 3, which is bar 3. Bar 3. Let me write it well. Now it's time to find the anti-logarithm part. Now we are going to look for the anti-log part of it. I remember how we normally find the anti-log. You have to look for anti-log of 82 under 0, difference of 9. Then after, you go back to your characteristic part. The characteristic part determines the position of the decimal point in such a way that when you write this number, your anti-log side in standard form, your power of 10 is going to be the same as your characteristic here. Now we're going to look for opening your anti-logarithm table. 0.82 under 0 is 6607. 0.82 under 0 is 6607. Now difference of 9 here is 14. You add your 14. 7 plus 4 here will give us 11. You write 1, carry 1. Add the 1 to this 0. You have your 1. 1 plus 1 here, 2. Bring down 6. Bring down 6. Now here we have our 6621. 6621. Now remember what I told you, that this characteristic part always determines the position of the decimal point in such a way that if you write after positioning your decimal point, if you write the number in standard form, your power of 10 is going to be the same with this particular characteristic. Now positioning our decimal points here, remember what we have here is bar 3. Bar 3 have to add the 0 in front. So that while writing this number in standard form, you have to count from the left to the right. Now position this 3. You have to add how many 0 because it is bar 3. You have to add 3 zeros in front. You add first 0, 1, 2. Now you place your decimal point. The 0 after the decimal point is not, you have your 0.006621. Now we have already positioned our decimal points here. Writing this number in standard form, you notice the power of 10 is going to be minus 3, which is bar 3. You have your decimal points here. You count 1, 2, 3. Characteristic parts always determine the position of our decimal point. If you have bar 3 here, you add what? You add 2 zeros before your decimal point. Do you get? If you have bar 4, you add 3 zeros, then before placing your decimal. Number 3, first of all, draw your table, have your number part, your log part. The first term here is 0.0961. Our characteristic here is bar 2. Put your decimal points because we're going to count 1, 2. Now we're going to look for 96 under 1 in our logarithms of numbers because we're still looking for the logarithm. 96 under 1 is 9827. 9827. There's no other digit here, therefore we're not going to look for any difference. The second term here is 4.873. Here, this 4.873, if you look at the number, the decimal point is already at the right position. So what are we going to do? We're not going to count forward or backward. Therefore, our characteristic here is going to be 0 because we did not count. After writing your 0, you put your decimal point. Now what are we going to do? We are going to look for 48 under 7, difference of 3. 48 under 7, difference of 3. Under 7 here, we have 6875. 6875. Difference of 3 is 3. You add your 3. 5 plus 3, 8. Bring down 7, bring down 8, bring down 6. Now we're going to have 6878. This numerator part, what we have here, the sign we have here is multiplication. Therefore, we're going to add the loss of the numbers because of the multiplication sign. You add 7 plus 8 will give us 15. You write 5, carry 1. That one you carry, add it to these 2. You have your 3. 3 plus 7 will give us 10. You write 0, carry 1. That one you carry, add it to this 8. You have 9. 9 plus 8 will give us 17. You write 7, carry 1. That one you carry, add it to this 9. You have 10. 10 plus 6 will give us 16. You write 6. Bring down your decimal points, carry 1. That one you carried, add it to these 2. You have your minus 2 plus 1 will give us minus 1. Now this minus 1 plus 0 will still give us minus 1, which is bar 1. Now in the second term, which is the denominator part, what we have there is 0.8345. Now, writing our characteristic part, the characteristic part here is this is where we have our decimal points. Therefore, we're going to place it immediately after the first non-zero digit. And our first non-zero digit here is 8. Now, placing it after 8, we'll just count once, which is 1. Place it here, have your minus 1 by 1. Put your decimal points. Now, looking for 83 under 4, difference of 5 in your logarithms of numbers. 83 under 4 here is 9212. 9212. Difference of 5 here is 3. You add your 3. This plus this, we have 5. Bring down 1, bring down 2, bring down 9. Now you have your by 1.9215. What next are we going to do? We have gotten the logarithm of the denominator part. Now we are going to subtract because of the division line. We are going to subtract the numerator, the log of the denominator from the one of the numerator. You can clean this line. Write your minus sign. 5 minus 5 here will give us 0. 0 minus 1 is can't go. You carry 1 from this 7. You'll be left with 6. Add it in front of this 0 here, we have 10. 10 minus 1 here will give us 9. 6 minus 2 will give us 4. 6 minus 9 is can't go. You carry 1 from minus 1. Minus 1 minus another 1 will give us minus 2. You'll be left with minus 2 here. Minus 2. Now if you carry 1 from this minus 1, add it in front of this 6. Here we have 16. 16 minus 9 will give us 7. You write 7. Bring down your decimal point. Now we are going to do minus 2 minus minus 1. This minus 2 here minus minus 1 will give us minus 2 plus 1, which will give us minus 1. Minus 2 plus 1 will give us minus 1. And that minus 1 is bar 1, which is the characteristic part. Have your bar 1. Now after getting your final difference here, you're going to look for the anterior part of the number. Now in the anterior part of it, we're going to look for 0.74 under 9. 0.74 under 9. There's no difference of 0, so that one I'm not going to look for it. 0.74 under 9 is 5610. Now just like the way we normally do it, the characteristic part determines the position of decimal point in such a way that if you write the number in standard form, the power of 10 is going to be the same as the characteristic here. Therefore, positioning the decimal points here, we have to write 0.5. Because writing this number in standard form, you're going to get bar 1 as the power of 10. But if you have bar 2 here, you just have to add 0.05. If it's bar 2, you just write what? Add one single 0 after decimal point. If it's bar 3, after the decimal point, you add 2 zeros. If it's bar 4, after the decimal point, you add 3.